Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Walk Around. Grab your popcorn, get some drinks, and enjoy the show. Alrighty, what's up guys, and welcome back for season 3 of The Walk Around. And today we're starting it off with an absolute beauty. Guys, we have a 2015 Husqvarna FC450, and this thing is absolutely beautiful, I must say. It's hitting a soft spot for me. I personally have a TC450, so yeah. No, this is definitely right up my alley, guys. But yeah, nonetheless, as we always do, guys, we're gonna run through any sort of modifications or things that I want to bring light to, and then following that, we'll have a look at any sort of damage, mainly performance affecting damage, especially with these off-roads. You know, obviously, as you guys can see, there's a few scratches here and there, not really actually up there, but like over here, for example. I must mention my legs, I trained legs yesterday, guys. My legs are very sore, so excuse me if I sound like an old man when I have to crouch, but yeah, nonetheless, guys, as I said, we're just gonna run through it as per usual and have a lack of time. So as I did mention, this is an FC, guys, and that essentially means that it's a cross-country or enduro bike. Now you have your TCs and your FCs, and it's a little bit confusing, I must say, because my Husqvarna is a TC450, and that is a 4-stroke. And then if you come and look at this is a TC300, and this is a 2-stroke. So it's a little bit confusing, I must say, guys, with the whole TC FC. But I've come to realize that FC is you know, the enduro / cross country, and TC is more so directed at the MX use and stuff like that. So yeah, nonetheless, as I always say, guys, these dirt bikes, there's really not that much of a difference. You know, if you want to go and if for an average rider, should I say, you know, if you want to take this and go and do MX on it, by all means, go for it. You know, it's only once you start getting into the professional levels of things that you're really going to start noticing differences and all of that sort of stuff. Mainly suspension setup, gearing setup, obviously, you know, your rebound on your suspension. So yeah, but yeah, as I said, guys, for an average Joe, you can take this and you can go and do whatever you want to do. Go and do enduro, go and do MX, go and do cross country, do whatever you want to do, you know. Obviously, just for enduro settings, you do want the protective accessories. But yeah, as I said, nonetheless, guys, for an average Joe, you know, it really, you're not going to notice any sort of major differences, should I say. So yeah, you guys will see. First off, we have the light up front. Again, it just really speaks to the enduro side of things on the bike. And then also down here, my legs are killing me. You see over here, we got a nice little belly pan over there. So for all of your enduro purposes, guys, once again, rocks and climbing over logs and going through rivers and all sorts, that's going to provide all the protection that you need for that bottom of the bike. And then normally you'll see that we have front disc protectors, but on this one we don't. However, we do have the lever guards, and yeah, as you guys can see, they're doing their job protecting those fingers from branches and trees and all sorts, and also protecting those levers. So I did say that it doesn't have a front disc guard, but you see at the front here it does. Sorry, at the rear it does. There you go. So any sort of rocks or anything, you can see it's taken damage there. Really done a good job of protecting that rear disc. And then you guys will also see that we actually have a brake light on this. So if you're looking to go and do a little bit of a supermoto conversion, this is absolutely perfect. All you're going to have to do, put some indicators on, put some mirrors on, and you know, Bob's your uncle. You've got your rear light, you've got your front light headlights. So yeah, very easy to turn these into supermotos. And then you'll see it's actually a pretty common accessory on all the dirt bikes to have that chain slider there at the bottom just to protect that sprocket and chain. And yeah, sometimes, guys, there's a few, you know, 1 or 2 more modifications here and there. Like if we just have a look at this, I think this is a TC310. Let's just double check. TE310. You see, it's getting even more confusing. But if you're going to go and do enduro, guys, that is exactly what I would get. You can see it's protecting that entire disc as well as that those front calipers. So definitely, if you're going to do enduro on your bike, I highly recommend getting something like that. But yeah, guys, not a modification of any sort. However, we've got some top-of-the-line braking systems there. Brembos at the front, Brembos at the rear. And 9 out of 10 times, these are also braided lines. Yep, steel braided lines. Perfect. Really good stuff. You know, as I said previously, with the, you know, different applications for your average Joe, you're really not going to notice that sort of difference between rubber lines and the steel braided. Otherwise, yeah, guys, I'm not seeing anything else in particular. Obviously, we've got a beautiful acro pipe on there. I can imagine this thing sounds absolutely amazing. A little bit of damage there, but we'll get onto that a little bit later on. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful seat, I must say. I'd love to have a seat like this for my Husky. It does look stock, but I can't say for 100% certainty. Nonetheless, absolutely beautiful. A lot of grip on these, especially when compared to the likes of the stock seats. Obviously, this is a KTM, but you guys will see it doesn't have those little ridges, and having those ridges makes a big difference. Trust me, I know. I've almost fallen off the back of my bike many a time from popping wheelies, purely because I just don't have any grip. And then again, guys, speaking to that enduro application, you've got your nice little grab handles there on both sides. So if your bike's stuck or you need to pull it out of the mud or whatever the case is, nice place to grab it. You don't need to grab on the exhaust or anything like that. So obviously, when you're racing, that's going to get super, super hot. So you don't have to worry about that. And then, yeah, we've got some nice little fresh grips on here, looking nice and snazzy. Yeah, other than that, guys, I'm not seeing any sort of other modifications. So next thing, guys, we're going to have a look at any sort of damage. I do just want to start off by saying, look at this absolute freshie. Absolute freshie of a front tire on there. Super, super nice to have, I must say. You don't need to worry about replacing that anytime soon. You guys will see you got a few scuffs over here on that front fairing. As I mentioned, lever guards doing their job up there. Normally there's a little bit of damage here to the front of the bike, especially if they're used for enduro, but I'm not seeing anything. I mean, those fork protectors are definitely doing their job, so that looks absolutely brilliant. And even this belly pan, I was looking at it earlier, there's no sort of major scuffing on it either, so I don't think this thing has been ridden in an enduro setting very much, or if it has, it was most likely maybe hare scramble or cross country sort of riding, not too many rocks and trees and river crossings and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really this bike is an exceptional condition, I must say, taking all things into consideration. Fairings are looking nice. I mean, this isn't even a sticker kit on there, so that's looking absolutely brilliant. As I did mention over here, guys, just a little crack here on the exhaust. Obviously, that's not going to affect the performance of the exhaust or the function that matter. Little bit of rust here and there. Unfortunately, guys, it is quite unavoidable nowadays, unless you take absolute pristine care of your bike. If you look after your bike as well as you look after yourself, then you obviously avoid that stuff. But yeah, guys, other than that, I'm really not seeing anything major. No foot pegs broken, no shifters broken, no foot brake broken. That rear sprocket is still looking very, very good, as well as the front. So chain is in good condition, guys. There's no major damage to the casings. There's obviously a little bit of scuffing here, as you guys can see over there. Again, just a few scratches here and there on that panel. Otherwise, we're looking absolutely snazzy. I do see that the kickstand is missing that little bottom part, so I'm sure that we can sort that out and get that fixed up and looking nice and snazzy again. And then I did notice here, sometimes people actually break these off intentionally, just so that it's a little bit of a shorter lever. As well as with these lever guards, sometimes you'll see if this lever was like the full length, it would actually make contact there. And I think, yeah, there actually is some, you can see where it's actually been rubbing there. So, yeah, I can't really say for certain if that's supposed to be like that. Sometimes people break it off and grind it down. You'll see on this side it has been, I don't know if you can see, but there we go. See, it's been cut off or broken off, and then they just smooth it out. So yeah, I need to mention it. So I don't know if maybe this side they did just break it off and they forgot to grind it down and get it nice and smooth again, but I really struggled to see how this would have broken with that. And you could see that it was a full lever while these were on, purely because of that abrasion over there. So a bit of an interesting one. I think we should probably just grind that down a bit, get rid of those sharp edges. Otherwise, guys, we are looking absolutely snazzy. This is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Husky. And as I said, guys, I've definitely got a soft spot for these things. This is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Guys, I really don't think there's anything else for me to mention. it's in really good condition for what it is. Obviously, just a few scuffs there on the rims. Really, it's unavoidable. I mean, you're not going to go and spray your rims every single time you you get a scratch on it, just as much as you're not going to go and replace your fairings when they get cracked. Oh, sorry, scratched. Oh, I see over here. It's also just a little bit of a scratch and a dent over there. Again, it's not going to affect the performance of the bike whatsoever. So, yeah, guys, I think that's about it. That is about it. Oh yes, and on the seat here, we've just got one or two cuts over there and over here. So get you guys a better view of that. There we go. Otherwise, this thing is absolutely snazzy. Give you guys a nice little startup. And something interesting about these kill switches is that it is the exact same kill switch that they use on the MV Agusta 675 Brutale. So pretty interesting. I don't know who had it first, but pretty interesting nonetheless. As you guys can see, it is electric start, and we do not have a kickstart. So yeah, let's get this baby fired up. There we go. For those wondering, it is fuel injected, it's not carbureted or anything like that. So yeah, in my opinion, you know, I did a race last month, 424, and guys, I had the electric start, and after doing a race with electric start, you couldn't pay me enough to go and do it with a kickstart. You know, really, when you're out there and you're tired and you're sore and you're crashing and you're falling and you're stalling, yeah, I feel like an electric start is an absolute must. So yeah, super nice to have that on here. As I'm going to let this thing warm up a bit and then yeah, give you a few revs and that should wrap things up. Yeah. That is very loud. I was pressing the different light settings to try and turn the bike off. But yeah, as you guys can see, we do have some different settings there. So it's off, and then I think you've also got your brights when the bike is running. Yeah, guys, that just about wraps things up. We also do have a dash up there showing you your speed and your distance traveled and your recent trips and all that sort of stuff. So it's actually, my goodness, they're making so much noise. So yeah, actually a nice little version of the hour meter, I must say. So yeah, super nice to see that on here. And yeah, guys, I think that just about wraps things up. It's an absolute beauty of a bike, I must say. Nothing but good things to say about the Huskies. You know, very similar to the KTMs. And yeah, they just do it right. I must say, guys, this rear tire is probably going to need to be replaced pretty soon. But as you can see, we've still got quite a bit of tread there. I would say maybe 40%, maybe 30, 35, 40% left on the tread there at the back. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Otherwise, guys, that's it, eh? That's it for the first episode of season 3 of the walk around. I mean, I'm super glad we were able to start it off with something nice and snazzy like this. So yeah, as of this moment, I think we've got another 11 or 12 bikes that are going to come out this season. So yeah, you never know, it might grow. We might get some more bikes in. And you know, if that's the case, then we'll get some more videos up. So yeah, guys, that's it from me today. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, just drop them down there in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, yeah, that's it from me today, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.